Hi, marketing girlies. Welcome back to another episode of Marketing Girly by Sky Society. I'm back with another solo episode, and since we're getting into spooky season this week, I've got a little spooky episode for you all around ghosting. This is probably one of the most common complaints I hear from my marketing girlies on the job search. And what better time to talk about ghosting than on Halloween? So, today I'm going to walk through kind of the main reasons why ghosting usually happens, what to do when it happens, and how to prevent it in the future. This is also, I feel like, a really timely episode because Sky Society has a job position that was recently open, and there's probably a lot of applicants that may get frustrated that we're not responding to everybody. And I kind of want to also share the experience on the hiring side of what it looks like for us. And we really try to avoid ghosting, but obviously it's impossible sometimes to respond to everybody. So I'm going to share it from both the job seeker perspective, which I have experience on, and on the hiring perspective. So that's what we're going to talk about today. A little update on all things Sky Society, since I usually like to do a little bit of that in my solo episodes, is that we just wrapped up admissions for final class of the year, which is crazy. This is our fall class. It actually starts, well, actually, by the time this episode is released, it will have started yesterday. But it's really exciting. We had the most applicants we had ever had. In the last year, our classes have 4x the number of applicants we get per class, and it's just been so cool seeing the community grow. And more marketing girlies want to be a part of it. So we had such a fun admission season, and we're getting ready for the end of the year, which is just absolutely insane that the holidays are around the corner. Uh, okay, so I don't know if there's much else. We have some merch that's going to be launching soon, some Marketing Girly merch. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be sharing that in our newsletter and our Instagram. So if you've been wanting to buy some Marketing Girly things, that's going to be coming out either October or November. Plus, next year, we're going to be releasing a lot of Marketing Girly merch. That's one of my big goals for next year, is to actually source high quality, amazing things that you actually want to wear that say Marketing Girly on them, and maybe Hot Girls Work in Marketing. So let us know what type of merch you want to see. That is also something that we're working on to be able to do next year. Okay, let's get into the episode. So now, when I started my marketing career, I also was getting ghosted. I feel like this is honestly a universal experience. And I love my dating analogies of you get ghosted when you're dating. If you're on a dating app, you probably get ghosted a lot. And the same thing happens when you're on the job search. Now, a lot of times the reason people ghost you, we'll use dating as our analogy, has nothing to do with you. Okay, this is a really great lesson if you are a single marketing girly. If you get ghosted when you're dating, it has nothing to do with you 99% of the time. And same thing with the job search. It's nothing to take personally. That is the biggest thing that I want you girls to walk away with, is don't take the ghosting personally. I was actually just thinking about one of my favorite books. It's called The Four Agreements. It's an incredible book if you haven't heard of it. It's one of my top all-time favorite books. And one of the agreements is don't take anything personally and never assume. So it's just a great reminder. If you need a book, I think that's a great little book you can read. It's a really short book. It's an easy read. But also it's just such a great thing in life, is just don't take it personally. And that will be your greatest asset for allowing you to get through the job search without feeling defeated and without feeling like just because you're getting ghosted, you are not good enough. That is usually the correlation I see people make, is that I'm getting ghosted, therefore I'm not good enough. That is not the case. Most of the marketing girlies that join Sky Society Accelerator or Marketing Bootcamp feel the exact same way, but it's usually has to do with a lot of other reasons about how you're presenting yourself, how you're marketing yourself, your skill set, your experience. There's so much that goes into it. So, uh, it has nothing to do with you. I mean, it might have some stuff to do with your application materials, but it has nothing to do with you personally. Okay, why does ghosting happen? So, honestly, I'm just going to share a little bit about what's happened with the Sky Society job we've had open, just to share what like sometimes can happen on the recruiter side. So, we had a job open at Sky Society, and I made a TikTok video about it that we're looking to hire. I have almost 1,000 comments on that TikTok video. I have hundreds of people messaging me. I've gotten messages through my TikTok DMs, through my Instagram DMs, through LinkedIn DMs, and through email. Now, I am honestly pretty sure I responded to almost everybody that DM'd me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok, and I responded on email. Like, I really, really try to respond to everybody just because I work with so many girlies that don't get responded. However, if I missed you, I'm so sorry, but our team really put an effort to make sure everybody got a response from us. Now, the thing is that a lot of people, when they reach out to me, they said pretty much along similar lines of like, oh my gosh, this job would be great for me because blah, blah, blah. I've applied, I applied. And that's great. Okay. I'm honestly it made me so happy to see how many people were excited about the position. And I just feel so grateful that people really went out of their way to want to apply to this position. However, when I have hundreds of people telling me the same thing, it's hard for your message to really stand out. Now, the messages that did stand out to me were the people that applied and told me why they were a good fit for the role and how they would be helpful for Sky Society. Okay, a little bit of a reframe. So instead of reaching out and saying, like, I'm really excited about the position, I really want to apply, I think I'd be a great fit for it, I applied, that's not the best thing to say when reaching out. I think the best thing to say when reaching out is to really paint a picture and connect the dots as to why you meet the qualifications on the job description. Now, if you are an accelerator graduate and you're listening to this episode and you've taken our marketing bootcamp, this is why we do our cover letters in the way that we do. We have a very specific formula for that, and it works really, really well because it specifically connects the dots between the job description and you. Okay. I'm not going to go into what that cover letter is right now, but if you are listening and you did not take the accelerator, you can still apply the same lessons of you need to connect the dots from the job description, okay? Go look at the job description. That is the answer to the test. That is the cheat sheet. That is what you need to be looking at and make it about that because that's what I care about, right? Who's going to be the best fit for the role? Now, I do want to say sometimes it's just because your resume didn't match what I was looking for. Okay. Kind of, again, this is why I say it's like nothing personal. It's just that the experience that I'm looking for and the type of candidate and who I think would be a good fit for the role, I didn't see that on your resume. And so that's why maybe we didn't call you back for an interview. And again, that's usually where a lot of the ghosting happens. And you might feel like, well, I don't know if they saw my resume. I don't know if they saw my email. I don't know if they saw my DM. They might have. And it just might be that you didn't have enough experience for the role and you weren't as qualified as the other applicants. Now, this is where I go into exceptions. I made exceptions for people that really wrote a really detailed cover letter that wasn't written by ChatGPT. 80% of the cover letters, it was super easy to read super easy for me to tell they were written by ChatGPT and I wouldn't even read them. But for the ones that I genuinely could like feel their passion, felt that they were personal, they wrote me a nice cover letter, they sent me a message and they were newer in their career and I could just feel their excitement. Though there were a few of those I did invite that didn't have experience, but that just like went above and beyond in their application. So that's my experience. Everybody's different, but I just want to say sometimes jobs just get so many applications. And if you just don't have the experience, it's sometimes out of your control. All right. I don't know if that's like what you were hoping to hear, but I do think it's important to understand both sides and just that sometimes it does just come down to resumes and come down to experience. But if you want a better chance of not getting ghosted, that is my best advice is to make your follow-ups personal and to really, really, as much as you can, paint a clear picture as to why the company needs you, like not why you want to be a good fit for the company, but why they need you. The job description is your cheat sheet. Show your passion and don't use ChatGPT. Okay. You have ChatGPT blindness. Okay. It was just so frustrating for me to read so many things that were so clearly written by ChatGPT. I love using ChatGPT. I think it's an amazing tool. However, it shouldn't be writing your stuff for you. It should be giving you ideas and you should be writing it yourself. So just please be careful. There were a lot of people that I immediately disqualified, especially when I see like 10 M dashes in their cover letter. So yeah. Okay. So what do you do when it happens? Let's say you apply to a job, you reach out, you don't hear anything back and you're frustrated. You don't know if they saw your application. Now, unlike dating, okay, we're dating. If you texted a guy and he didn't respond to you, I would say he did see the message and he chose not to respond to you. Okay, you don't need a double text. You don't need a triple text. If you're a girl, we all know this. Okay, we all know this. That rule does not apply to the job career side of life. Okay. You can double text, you can triple text because you want to show passion and commitment. Okay. So here we're going to take a break from our dating analogies where I would not advise you to double text somebody that you're dating, but I will advise you to double text, double email, double DM somebody what you're applying to a job for. Again, be super understanding. You could even say something like, you must be getting so many messages right now, but I really just wanted to say how excited I am for the role. I understand that I don't have a ton of experience, but I do have experience doing blank, blank, and blank that I think would be a great fit for the role. I'm a quick learner. I'm willing to work hard. Now, the other thing that I really love seeing, and I don't know if this is just me because I'm a founder, and obviously, if I'm hiring somebody for a role at my company, I want them to be excited about the company itself. But I love when people say that they've either been following Sky Society for a while, they've listened to the podcast, maybe they were like it's their first time encountering Sky Society, but they're like, I like join the group. I followed you guys on Instagram. I love what you're doing. I think the mission's incredible. I think blah, 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 blah. And like talking about the company itself. Now, most people don't do this because they're mass applying to jobs. So if you follow up and you really make it personal about the company itself, I also think that really grabs attention. And not just like, let's say you're applying to job at Milk Makeup and you love the brand, like you use it every day. That's one thing. But like if you can share a personal story about how, if it is a brand you use every day, how it influences your everyday life or a really meaningful story about it, I think that also really resonates. So you can follow up. You can send an email, a LinkedIn, a DM. Just again, don't take it personally if they don't respond. It could just be because there's lots and lots of stuff, but it could also be the thing that helps you stand out. Also, in follow ups, it could be great to go above and beyond and attach a portfolio, attach a mock assignment, a mock project, do something different. Everybody, think about this, okay? Everybody is sending hey, I just wanted to follow up. Hey, I just wanted to check in on my application. Hey, did you get a chance to look at my resume? Everybody is sending that. So think about what you can do that's totally different and totally out of the box. Okay. Marketing Experience Lab. That's one of the mini courses we have at Sky Society. That's just like such a great example of doing something completely different that nobody else has ever done, or not that nobody else has ever done, but that most people don't do. So think about things that are out of the box that are totally different. Could you do like a LinkedIn post about it, about the job that you applied? Did something silly? Could you make them laugh? Like what is something different that you can do? I think you can follow up to 2 times. So you can apply, maybe send a little follow up once. If you don't hear back from them, send another follow up. But the hiring process moves quickly. Don't just say I'm following up because everybody is saying that. Try to be different. Okay, how to prevent ghosting in the future. So you're tired of getting ghosting, you're annoyed. Honestly, if you are in the stage of applying to jobs, like you haven't gotten an interview, it's inevitable. Just accept it. Okay. Now, if you are interviewing for a company and you want to avoid getting ghosted, like let's say you've gotten ghosted after interviewing, I think that's super rude. Personally, I think that if a candidate takes the time to spend an hour or 30 minutes in an interview with them, the least that you can do is respond and send them a rejection. I could go on a rant about that another day. I feel like, yeah, I think it's totally understandable to ghost people when they're just applying, but once they've interviewed, I really feel like companies should at least be sending an email. However, if this has happened to you where you've gone ghosted after an interview, ask about the timeline and next steps in every interview. My favorite question to ask at the end of an interview is, what do the next steps look like? And see what they say. And also try to gauge timeline. Okay, if they say, oh, next steps, we're going to review your application, we'll get back to you. Say, okay, amazing. Like, do you know like roughly what time, just so I can like know when to expect it? And that way, if they tell you, oh, you'll hear back from us by Friday, or you'll hear back from us by next Tuesday, then you can send your follow up. Hey, Lisa, hope you had a great weekend. I know you guys said I would hear back from you on Friday. Totally understand you guys must be busy, but I just want to check in on the status of the role. So ask about timeline, ask about next steps, and try to communicate. Don't forget to send your thank you email after the interview. That's a huge thing. And again, just ask. Ask when you're going to hear back. Ask what the timeline looks like. Okay. My last tip I want to give you, girls, is to try as much as you can to reframe the experience. Okay. It is not about you. Do not take it personal. Sometimes companies are just getting so many applications and your resume just does not fit the role. Again, we'll go back to my dating examples. You could go on a date with somebody, they can be incredible, you can be incredible. You just might not feel the chemistry. It might not be a match. And that's the same here with applying to jobs. It doesn't mean you're any less incredible or any less absolutely talented and skilled. It just means that that wasn't the right opportunity for you. And keep going. Also, if you're applying to jobs over and over with the same application materials and you're getting ghosted over and over again, change something. It also likely means that your approach might not be working. You might need more experience. You might need to build a portfolio, redo your resume, get more skills, get more certifications, grow your network. Don't just keep, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Okay, you've got to be trying new things. You have to be improving yourself as an applicant as much as you possibly can and really trying to make sure that your application materials are standing out because at the end of the day, that's what we've got to put our best foot forward are your application materials. So, those are my tips for you girls today. I am sorry on behalf of any company that has ever ghosted you. I totally just understand how awful it is and how frustrating it can be when you put in a lot of effort and you just hear nothing back. And I hope this episode gives you a little bit of hope and makes you feel a little bit better that you are not alone in that and that it is nothing to take personally. And hopefully, you got some good action items to be able to apply to your future follow ups and hoping to help you get ghosted less going forward. I hope you girls have an incredible Halloween. I hope you're dressing up as something cute, sexy, fun, or silly, or just doing something. I feel like as I get older, the less and less I want to dress up for Halloween, but also I feel like the more that I should because I feel like I'm missing out on how fun things used to be when you were young and you just wanted to be go all out and do all the fun things. So I hope you girls are doing that this Halloween. If you aren't already, please make sure you join either our weekly newsletter or our LinkedIn group. We are probably going to be having more open positions at Sky Society next year. We share them all in our LinkedIn group and on Instagram. And also, if you're on the job search, we share jobs every single week in our weekly newsletter and also in the LinkedIn group. So make sure you join both of those. But that is it for today. I will be back next week with an absolutely amazing guest. As always, if you have any requests for solo episodes, please let me know. I usually just try to make them on questions I see asked in our community a lot. But that is it for today's episode, and I will see you back next Tuesday.